Hi, as you may know, I like movies, and I like them well enough, I started reviewing them. About a year and a half ago, on my Instagram, I started to review movies, and I did it for fun, because, I wanted to keep track of the movies I was watching, and, it's kind of fun to review movies. And then I realized a bit ago, I was like, hey, I could actually make a YouTube video out of this. So this is the first out of the 3-part series, which is everything from the 12th of December 2018. Whether it be movies, TV shows, or whatever. The first 2 parts will be movies, because I've seen a lot of them. And the third part will just be TV shows and musicals and other things. Because they're not big enough to have its own video. Well, maybe the TV shows one is. I've got a lot to get through. So, this is part 1 of everything from the 12th of December 2018. Spoilers for everything. Spoilers for every film. Some more than others. First film, Edward Scissorhands, 3 out of 5. It's a good film. I like the aesthetic of it, like all the houses being all these different colors. I just thought it was really cool and bold, and I do like that the town liked him at first. Yeah, I like the fact that the town just didn't turn on them right away, and it was just a nice film to watch, I guess. Look, it's a new Christmas classic for me. I'm going to be watching it every year. In fact, I'll be watching it later this year. Groundhog Day, 5 out of 5. This was a rewatch. I love this film. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's just such a good... I really enjoy rewatching it. It's got such a great premise and such a cool idea and a great director, great cast. It was such a good film that the concept has been used multiple times into other types of franchises. Genres more like action, horror, Miracle on 34th Street reboot. I just love this film. It's just really nice. It's a classic Christmas movie. I highly recommend it. I watch it every year. The Holiday Calendar. It's okay. It's fine. It's not gonna harm anyone, but it's not good. It's not wow, that's amazing. I didn't really particularly pick this film. I just ended up watching it because other people were watching it in the room. Okay, so my review says that it's they tried to do it if you were to rewatch this, you'd see it from a different perspective, but they didn't nail that one pretty well. Sherlock Holmes, the Robert Downey Jr. one. Good film. It's a good action and amazing second rewatch moments I wrote, which I haven't actually rewatched it, so I guess. Yeah, this film, it did actually intrigue me to Sherlock Holmes, which I hadn't really had before. I was like, yeah, alright, that's a kind of neat character. But I felt yeah, Sherlock Holmes, I want to see more of this. Christmas with the Kranks. I don't like this film. It's fine. It could be way better. Bohemian Rhapsody. I liked the film, but again, it might be because I really like Queen. It's the first music biopic I saw, where I saw a couple of videos that talk about the fact that it's very samey. It's like every other music biopic, but this is kind of the first one I saw, so I thought it was pretty neat. It's one of those films that reminds you, oh yeah, people can be crap. People are bad people. Okay, another thing is, when I watch films, it always tends to happen, is I watch films, but I always think about how the filmmaking's done. I always think about, okay, that's a cool shot, how they do that. It's that's a bit of an awkward scene. They would have had the film as the cameraman. But in the Live Aid scene at the end, I forgot all that. I was just this is great. And, that's hard to kind of do. Love Actually. I don't think it's as great as everyone thinks it is. If someone asked, hey, do you want to watch it? I'll be okay, I guess. I don't remember it being very fondly, but my review's it's good, but I didn't care for most of the storylines. Liam Neeson's storyline was the only one I really liked. Apart from that, I didn't really care for the other ones. Elf. Great film. Good movie. I would have liked to have actually seen the relationship between, Buddy Jovi is what the name is written down, I guess. I would have actually liked to have seen their relationship a bit more. That would have been cool. Because I've grown up with the film, I'll probably keep watching it every year. But if I didn't grow up with it, I probably wouldn't rewatch it every year. I'd watch it every once in a while, but not every year. The Santa Claus. Another classic Christmas movie I grew up on. There's not a lot to say. It's good, but you can also have it in the background. It's fine. Like a TV show I'll get to eventually, and I'm not going to say now because I don't want the hate to roll in just yet. You can just have it in the background. It's fine. It's a nice Christmas movie, and it's got some funny jokes. Home Alone. Christmas classic. It's just I don't know what to say, man. It's just great. The music, the acting, it's just great. there's a Netflix doco series, like The Movies That Made Us. They did like an episode on Home Alone, which is really, it's just behind the scenes. I found it really interesting. I recommend it. We'll get to that show later. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. One of my favorite naming conventions. It's an amazing title. It's not as good as the first film, and I didn't really expect it to be. It's still a decent film, and yeah, it's kind of a Christmas movie. It's still a Christmas movie. I'd still watch it around Christmas. Gremlins, one of my favorite Christmas movies. And, it's a part of history, giving the PG-13/M rating. It's a great film. It's got one of my favorite theme songs. I would play it, but copyright. But, it's just... I love it so much. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's just great. It's a must-watch. It's stunning how they were able to pull off a film like this. This seems ridiculous. Sony is making a film with multiple Spider-Man? That's just a recipe for disaster, but somehow they managed to pull it off and make it a good film. There's, lots of different twists, and you still watch it, and, I've watched it a few times this year, and I still get goosebumps watching it, and it's still the animation is stunning, it's very beautiful to watch, and it's just, there are little neat facts you can learn about every frame, and it's just, that's really cool. This is a real neat film. Scrooged. I don't remember much about the film, although apparently the Ghost of Christmas Present and the speech at the end makes this movie I'll watch this year, I guess. So, we'll find out. After Christmas. This is my favourite Christmas movie. I don't think anything's going to top it. It's just got magic heart, and it's my favourite interpretation of that style of story. It's a Christmas movie. It's just the best. It's the one I watch December 24th every year. I think I watched it the second time. I'm like, this is really good. So it's just the one I watch before Christmas. The thing with Christmas is, and I love it so much, is because there's a lot of magic to it, and this film really shows that. And it's just nice. And that scene at the end, it's just nice. It's just such a good film. Such a nice, good film. 222. It's a strange movie. It is. It's about a guy reliving time, kind of. Well, time's repeating, but not like Groundhog Day, more like every day. Go out on the roof, raindrops on hand. That's weird. There's no clouds in the sky. Closes book, opens up book. But things keep repeating within certain times. According to this, there are some issues with the movie. One being the editing doesn't convey the passage of time. That's fair enough from what I remember. Example is at the start of the film, it says it was his birthday is in 2 weeks. There is a montage which makes it feel like a week. It wasn't though, apart from these time... it wasn't though. Apart from these time issues, it's a decent movie with an interesting story. Bumblebee. A great movie and the best Transformers movie with the retrospectives to it. I do want to watch the film again. I haven't seen it since I first saw it, and I do really want to watch the film again. Yeah, some of the jokes I didn't find very funny, but the others I bet what I'm talking about is the joke where it's like, they're making some World Wide Web. I'm like, that's not funny. But other stuff was but other parts are just great. And some of the setups you can easily tell, there's the rule of 3 applies a lot in that film, but hey, it's still good. Mystery Men, the first one I watched this year. It's an enjoyable film, and it's creative and it's different, which I really appreciate. Shuffle Man is my favorite. How to Train a Dragon. It's just a good, the first one. It's just a good film. It's just great. The animation is beautiful, and also when I was rewatching it that time, I have a feeling Toothless is based off Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. The way the actions move, the way the head moves and stuff like that. It's just Stitch. That's what I'm getting the vibes from, which is maybe the reason why I like How to Train Your Dragon as much as I do. How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. It's good. The animation is stunning to watch. The villain is fine. The ending is great. Do I want to rewatch this film? If I was like, hey, do you want to rewatch the film? I'd be like, sure. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Though there was a bit at the end where I'm like, new toys. The Founder. It's another one of those films you're like, oh, there are bad people in the world. I see. It's a very interesting film. I found it quite interesting. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting. Also quite sad to watch, how the events played out. You're like, Jesus. Mission Impossible. It's fine. This is the first one. I got a bit confused for watching it, but I still enjoyed the film enough. Also, just before this film, I watched Mission Impossible 6, or Mission Impossible Fallout. That was the first one in the series I watched. And my review for that one is, I still don't get why people like it so much. I don't get why it's in everyone's top 10. Like, I heard in a lot of people's top 10s for 2018 was like Mission Impossible 6. I didn't understand why. I thought it was at best. Happy Death Day. It's not as much of a horror, which is, good for me getting into the horror type movies. It's an average film, and I enjoyed how they went with the Groundhog Day concept and put it into one of those types of things. Blade Runner. Harrison Ford is good, although he has that one real creepy scene in which she's trying to escape, the replicant's trying to escape. He's like, no, don't. And then they play like sensual music, and I'm like, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Like, he's really good. The soundtrack is cool. The action is cool. But I had it on in the background because it's a background film. I didn't find it interesting enough to sit and go, whoa, this is cool. I was just had it on in the background while doing something else. I still was paying attention to it, but it just Dirty Harry. I really enjoyed this film. I expect to like it, but I just found myself really invested. I got more than a bargain for the film, and that's just great. Weird Science. First half, absolutely hate it. Second half, kind of really like it. It's an interesting film to say the least. I kind of I'm not a big fan of awkward comedy because I relate too much to it. I empathize too much, so anything awkward, it just hurts. And the ending could have been way weirder. That's my only real complaint. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. This film introduced me to one of my favorite directors, Edgar Wright. The music, the visuals, the action, the concept, the style, the film. It's great. I know people have some opinions about the ending. I personally like the ending. I haven't read the books yet because the box set is too expensive and I don't have money. Solo. It's good. The action is good. I really liked the villain. Some parts weren't great. They kind of annoyed me. Probably the one bit where it's like, what's your last name? And he's like, what's your family name? Do you have family? He's like, no, we don't have family. So your name is Han Solo, then. Like, that scene really bugged me. But, okay, I've written here I kind of want a sequel, even though that never happened. I suppose it's like, I kind of want to see where this goes. The Color of Money. Like Blade Runner, this is a movie for the background, you won't miss anything. It's a bit slow, but watching them actually play pool is fun. Also, I didn't realize until the last half an hour of the film. I thought Tom Cruise was the main character, but he's just flat out not. Jaws! First time I watched it, a classic and rightfully so. That second shark attack is extremely intense, and I did not expect that from the film. I did not expect the scenes to be as tense as they were, even though I knew exactly how it happened, which is just really good filmmaking. Hot Fuzz. Great action, great comedy, great film. One of my favorites of all time, by the way. It's just a beautiful, stunning film. Highly recommend to anyone who has just watch, even if you have seen it, watch it again. It is just great. Rad. The music was cool, but that's mostly because I'm an 80s fan and I really like, stuff like 1980, just music, so that's just, I like 80s music, so that's kind of a biased thing. The stunts were cool. There were some definitely funny parts, but it's not something new, and there were some very strange decisions that were made in the film. Fantastic Mr. Fox. The animation is great. Wes Anderson is just a beautiful filmmaker to watch. It was looking at his style is just stunning. George Clooney, I love. I just love this film. Again, another one of my favorites. I think it's in my top 3 favorite animated. I think it's my second favorite animated film ever. Spider-Man, the first one from 2002. This is my introduction to Spider-Man. Again, this is my Spider-Man, and I just love the film. The story is great. The practical effects are really light. The characters are really good. The main theme, it's just all good. It's just great. UHF. Probably haven't heard of this film. So in 1989, Weird Al made a movie. That film was UHF. I really enjoy the film. It's kind of like the pre-Wayne's World. It's the same style of jokes, but it came out in 1989 instead of the 90s. So again, if it didn't come out in 1999, it came out a couple of years later, I think it'd be a much bigger success than it is. It's similar to Wayne's World, but it's different enough to definitely stand out, and it's a good film. Go watch it. If you can find a copy, go watch it. Isle of Dogs. This was a strange film. They swore twice in this film. And I didn't expect that because I thought it was made a bit more for kids. But that's fair enough. And it's fine because, again, if you want to do swearing, you do it creatively and it was done very creatively in the film, and I really appreciate that. The way that most of it was in Japanese, it was like an interesting decision, but I like it because it's kind of weird and strange. The exchange student character I felt was really useless. I liked her, but it was, you know, she was kind of useless. I still enjoyed the film, and the animation is great. And yeah, it's a bit of a dark film when they talk about cannibalism and suicide, so, you know, fun. And then for Valentine's Day, I watched the classic Back to the Future. It's my favorite film of all time. There might be a film that will top it, but I don't think there will. I own a collection of Back to the Future stuff. I just love the film, the characters, the story, the script writing is incredible. There are some flaws with it, sure, but like it's just my favorite. Alita Battle Angel. I quite enjoyed this one. I didn't care about her eyes. I don't know what people were saying too much of the problem with that one was. The CGI was really great most of the time. The fights were pretty cool. It was a bit gorier than I thought it would be, but hey, whatever, man. I watched it in VMAX, and that was cool. I'd recommend watching it there. Pure Country. This is a film that reminds me, man, the films that I watch, like, the spectrum of films is just kind of insane. It's not for everyone, don't get me wrong, and there are definitely things that annoy me about the film, but it's just a nice... Captain Marvel. I forget I enjoy this film. It's one of those Marvel movies, it's one of those films where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I like this one. I always thought it was but then I'm like, oh yeah, no, I like this one. How do I forget that? The scrolls are the thing that make the film. There are a few things that I'm not a big fan of, like the fact that Nick Fury gets the word Avenger from her, and I'm like, that's kind of dumb. But apart from that, it's fine. Again, it's harmless. Again, it's not my favorite Marvel movie, but it's definitely not the worst, so, you know, that's a plus. Isn't it romantic? I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed the comedy that came from the genre itself, like them poking fun of it. It's on Netflix, so, like, if you want to watch it, go watch it, but I wouldn't, like, go out again. If you're like, I want to watch a fun, just a neat film, go watch it. If you're like, I want to watch anything else, go watch anything else. Blues Brothers. This is a very interesting film. I didn't expect the Nazis. I just didn't expect them at all. Why would I expect Nazis? I loved it. It's great. You didn't see it coming. You didn't see what was happening. You didn't expect what was going to happen. You had no idea what was going to happen, which is great to see in a film. Coming to America. Not the funniest, but it had its moments, and it was a good story. I'd recommend it. The Lego Movie 2, the second part. I really like this film. I don't remember too much of it, but I definitely remember, like, the big twist of the film, which I just loved. I thought it was great. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. They are some of the best people working today. I love their stuff. I need to watch more of their stuff. I've talked about them before. They're just the best. This film apparently lives and breathes references, which I'm going to have to... I suppose it does, but again, I have to rewatch it. Darkman. It's an interesting film. So I wrote down, it's kind of like the Joker movie in 1990, because he's insane, he murders, and society beat him down. I mean, I suppose... Would I watch the film again? No. Was Bruce Campbell's appearance great to watch? Yes, that was cool. Once Upon a Deadpool. It's fine, it could be worse. Shazam. I walked out of that film going, I haven't had fun in a while. That film was fun. I've been meaning to rewatch it all year, but it was just a fun film to watch. I just had a fun time, and it was just fun. It was more violent than I expected, but I thought it was still pretty good. I think someone actually laughed at me in the cinema because I laughed at something. Again, I don't remember that at all. I've written it down, so I suppose it happened. Tomb Raider, the first one. The fight scenes are pretty cool. Bit too sci-fi for a Tomb Raider film, but like, whatever. It's fine. Again, I haven't played a Tomb Raider game, so like, what do I know? Clerks. I really like this film. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you kind of liked the type of film that it was. I love the dialogue of the film and the way that I'd recommend it to people who like that style of film. If you don't like that style of film, it's just not going to be your cup of tea. But, you know, if you like the style of film, I highly recommend it. It's a good time. National Treasure. I'm a big fan of this film. I really like it. This film is what I actually kind of wanted out of Tomb Raider. I love the treasure hunt stuff. It's just amazing. Sure, I have a bit of nostalgia for it, but like, come on. It's just good. It's just a good time. Avengers Endgame. Oh boy. What a film. I mean, I basically couldn't move in the last 15 minutes. I don't know what happened, but I kind of crumpled up and didn't. And when Captain America caught, spoilers for the whole film. There was some parts that are definitely slower than others and stuff, but like, you know, when Captain America caught Mjolnir, I realized that it was the end, and Look, it's a stunning movie to watch, and it's an incredible achievement, and like, it's just... Is it the best film ever? No. Does it have flaws? Yes. Do I love the hell out of it? Yes. It's just such a good film. It has some incredible lines of dialogue. It's got some incredible imagery. There are some shots there which just make so many good wallpapers, and like the first time when Spider-Man grabs Captain America's shield, and they have that as like in the trailer, and just to show that this is Spider-Man with Captain America. It's all a part of the one thing now. They did the same thing when like Spider-Man was holding the Infinity Gauntlet when he rubbed on the Mjolnir, which is just such a good shot. Thor was great. Iron Man is great. Captain America's always my favorite. The opening gives you such dread. Okay, I rewatched all the Avengers movies. The first one, it's good, but some things aren't great. The second one, it's not great, but Ultron is one of my favorite MCU villains. I really love the biblical stuff. Infinity War, that dread is so... The dread I felt rewatching... Because I hadn't rewatched it since I'd seen it in first cinemas. Because I didn't want to rewatch it. Because I didn't want to have to go through the heartbreak at the end of that film. And I rewatched it, and the sense of dread that I got was so very fascinating to me. And then, yeah, Avengers Endgame is just... They're all stunning films. Blade. It's a solid film, but you can tell it's dated. But I enjoyed the film, and I'd kind of recommend it if you wanted to see what a 90s superhero movie was like. So I watched the Snoopy and Charlie Brown movie, otherwise known as the Peanuts movie everywhere else. Just in Australia, it's always been branded as Snoopy and Charlie Brown. Overall, it was just a nice film to watch. Like, you don't get a lot... There's a certain brand of film that I quite enjoy, which are just nice. It's just Charlie Brown trying his best and not succeeding. And it's just a good film to watch. Like, you get into it and you're like, oh, poor Charlie Brown. It's just it's a timeless film, which is great to watch for an animated film. Although it did have one of those generic music things, which I'm like, which is a bit annoying. They have like generic music to dance to, and I'm like, whatever. It does make me want to go back and actually look at Charlie Brown stuff. In brackets, 500 Days of Summer. Very visually interesting film. I really like the way that the story is told, and the foreshadowing is just great to watch. I don't like what's-his-face, the main guy. Again, I watched this film the 5th of May, so like it's been a while, so if I don't remember names of characters, I'm sorry. I don't like the main guy, but I kind of think that's the point. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Action scenes are great, and this film heavily reminded me of The Incredibles. That was the music, I assume. It was the music. I enjoyed the film. It was Detective Pikachu. It was hard to believe what I just saw. Oh my goodness. Is it the greatest film? No. Did I really enjoy seeing my favorite Pokemon on the screen? Yes. The visual effects, absolutely stunning. Mr. Mime scene, great to watch. One of my favorite Pokemon being just appearing for a bit, beautiful. The plot, but interesting. It was just cool. Is it the best mystery plot? No, because they didn't do it properly. But again, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. John Wick Chapter 3. It's amazing. The action felt nearly non-stop. The world building is great, and boy do I love a shotgun. Oh, do I love a shotgun. Highly recommend this series. It's better than the second one, in my opinion, only because what I thought sometimes trailers do this, but the film they sell me on is not the film I actually go and watch. So the film that the trailers for John Wick 2 sold me on was John Wick 3, which is probably why I like it so much. And is it great? Is it the best thing ever? No. Also, Parabellum, one of my new favorite words. Robin Hood. So this new Batman film was weirder than the last one. Two-Face was the villain at one point, which is kind of interesting. They're setting up for a sequel with Two-Face to come in. It has the same problem that the Flash TV show and the Spider-Man TV show. It's the same issue where they keep taking off the mask, and that really annoys me. You wear a mask for a reason. Stop taking it off. 8th grade. Remember what I was saying about how awkwardness really gets to me? Yeah, this film is. I don't know how it did it on a scale to where I really love the film, even though it is so awkward and painful to watch. But I guess it's because of the fact it's so awkward and painful, but it's so true. That's just what life is. And Bo Burnham is amazing, and he actually did it really well, and I again, it's incredible. The Addams Family. Oh no. So, okay, this is the 1990s one. I actually, I was testing out my VHS player, and, you know, that's pretty nifty. I got to watch it in VHS, which is kind of cool. You really get to love the family, and it's really cool. And I think the VHS copy does make it feel, it fits the film very much, so, like the VHS style. It also makes the effects look a little bit better. I finally saw Aquaman, that's pretty nifty. The action was amazing. Black Manta I loved. It's dumb, but I like it. It's just, it's a film that I would call comic book nonsense. And you need that every once in a while. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. So this was a film that I watched. It's a weird one. I liked the music though, that was cool. If you look at the poster and go, this has gotta be a time I wanna watch this film, then do go and watch the film. But like, it's a bizarre movie. It's weird, it's strange. It's good, the music was nice, I liked some of it. WALL-E. Oh my god, I hadn't rewatched this film in years, and when I saw it, it's gotta be in my top 10 films ever. It just has to be. It's my third favorite animated movie ever. So, okay, spoilers. But the Lego Movie, the first one, is my favorite animated film ever. Then Fantastic Mr. Fox, then WALL-E. Like, they're just such good films, and WALL-E is just great. The Muppets. There are a lot of celebrity cameos and 80s references. 80s Robot is my favorite character. It does suffer a bit from focusing on one too many plots, but if they cut one or two, it definitely would have been a better film, like more concise. But the issue is you don't really know which one you could cut, because they're all kind of important, which kind of explains how actually the film was made, because I feel like they needed to cut one, but they couldn't work out which one to cut, so they just left them all in. Streets of Fire. This film disappointed me. I thought it was just going to be weird and cool, but it just was like, eh? Like, the acting was eh? The transitions were a strange thing, and the plot was alright. The film, it's like called Streets of Fire, a rock and roll fable, but I really much expected way more rock and roll, and the poster is amazing. Like, that poster is stunning, but like, you know, and like the music was good though, and I kind of want to go back and watch it just for the world. I don't know, the world seemed really strange to me, even though it's kind of real world, with a bit more grungy, or a bit more like, you know, 80s up. But like, I don't know, the world fascinates me, and I'm not sure why. Toy Story 4. This is interesting, because it's a very much a Woody central film, and Woody has been my favorite from Toy Story. Buzz was made to kind of be dumb, and because it's a Woody centric film, all the characters got to become sidelined, and it kind of sucks that, like, and that kind of sucks, and it kind of sucks that Buzz was made out to be, like, kind of dumb, but like, it's such a beautiful animation. It's just beautiful to watch. The ending of the film makes the film exist. Like, it gives it a reason for why the film would exist. And it's a good film. It's a good ending. But like, you know, it's a good film. It definitely has its flaws, but like, especially with Buzz Lightyear being a massive downside of the film. He's got some good moments, and there are definitely some good moments of the film, but like, you know, it's not a perfect film, and that kind of sucks. But again, it's Woody's character arc in the story, and the way everything's done, it's just great. Footloose. It's a solid film. The story is great. The only real complaint I had one of the main complaints I have with the film is the fact that, you know, the music could have been used better. Like, they use Holding Out for a Hero for a tractor chicken race, as in like playing chicken with tractors, and I thought that was really dumb. But like, the music choices were great. The story I really like. Psycho. It's real neat to watch a classic cinema. It's real neat to watch like one of those types of film. And again, the way everything was done was really impressive, and there's some really good shots in the film. Is it the best? Not really, but again, it is a good watch. It's good to sit down and have a watch of the film. And there are some really interesting elements, but again, it's alright. Pleasantville. Really cool to watch. The way that the plot, it's just really cool. It's like a really cool concept, and the way they do it is amazing. The visual effects are stunning. On a visual level, I just recommend watching the film. If you don't know what this film is, pick up a copy, watch it, and be like, that was the film I watched. That's strange. Although, I do have to wonder about the thing about the ending. But yeah, again, the visuals are amazing. Plot was great. It's just a really good film. Spider-Man 2. Again, this is a film I forgot how good it was. I just love these. I love the first two Spider-Man films. They're just great. I still think this is the best Spider-Man film. Spider-Verse is close, but I think this is a different type of Spider-Man film. The characters are great. The story is great. The visuals, that speech. You know what speech I'm talking about. I put it in another video. It's just great. Cool Runnings. Hadn't seen the film since like grade 5. 1998, the year that reminds us that many stories can happen in the same Olympics, because both in this film and in Eddie the Eagle they reference each other, and I think that's just great. Like, it's a good film, and there's not real much to say about it other than it's enjoyable, and I recommend watching it. And Spider-Man: Far From Home. I like this film. I like the film. The visuals were really cool. It's what I wanted to see with Mysterio. I liked Spider-Man, and I liked MJ, and I liked their connection. I wish I could have seen a bit more of it though, but again, there's small minor things. There are, again, little things like that throughout the film which you could kind of go, hang on a second, what's with that? Like, the villain made me laugh. Okay, spoilers for the film. I know it's just spoilers before, but spoilers for anyway. Mysterio being the bad guy, and his villain suit being a mocap suit, made me laugh really hard in the cinema. Because that's just really funny to me, that his villain suit is just a mocap suit, and that's just great. Braveheart. First half an hour, real quick, real good. The second half an hour, Jesus, it's so slow, that second half. The action is really well done, so is the story, but jeez, it's a 3-hour movie. And the first half an hour, you're like, wow, it's been like, what, half an hour? But the last half of the film, you're like, geez, what's it been, like 4 years? Ice Age. I love the film. I would like to do a video on it, like discussing the type of film that it is. And it's really interesting to watch based on the type of jokes that are in the film. Like, I think there's only like 2 snot jokes, but that's it. Which is, again, it's a kid's film. And that's impressive. And the first film is just a beautiful watch. It's got so many quotable lines, which I still quote to this day. It's a good film. So, yeah, you can probably tell why this has to be a 2-parter. Yeah, it's a long video, and oh boy. Look, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you haven't, you can subscribe, or if you want to talk about films, you just comment down below and stuff. And if you're interested in my reviews just randomly, then follow me on Letterboxd. It's a good app. I quite enjoy it, and get all my reviews there. Yeah. So I guess I'll see you in part 2.